unfortunate side with an injury to their guy at 125. So Adams goes out there against a really good wrestler. And you could tell right away, couldn't you, that Gallagher was trying to score and score big for the Quakers. And he's able to get this meet, or his meet, started in a great way. First period pin. And Penn finds itself ahead 6-0 right away.
125 weight class this year has seen a number of ranked wrestlers in the top 10 continuously fall, and kind of the rankings are going up and down. It's wide open right now. If Max Gallagher can keep stringing together some big wins like that, it is going to be big towards the end of the season. As we move on, 133, Coleman Nogle for Harvard, Michael Colaiocco from Penn.
And just to finish on that point you were making about the 125 weight class, Diego Sotelo from Harvard beat Anthony Noto from Lockhaven earlier this year, who at the time was the #1 ranked wrestler in the weight class. He's all the way outside the top 10 now.
As we shift up to 133, Coleman Nogle, a first year from Laurel, Maryland, your neck of the woods, Justin, and also Colaiocco, a senior from Sparta, New Jersey.
It's another one where Penn is in a good spot. You would think on paper this is a 3-time NCAA qualifier in Colaiocco, but, you know, Nogle has wrestled well at times this season. Dropped one yesterday, a close one against Princeton.
See that number 10 ranking for Colaiocco. He's a 4-year starter for Penn, has a ton of experience, as you mentioned. 3-time NCAA qualifier as a freshman, actually, at 125. So a couple different weight classes that he has experience at as well. As he tries to score the first takedown here on Nogle, but able to flip it back on the reversal. Nogle's going to take this first.
I think he might have gotten a back point there.
Colaiocco trying to escape out of it, but Nogle says no.
Challenge brick is out there from Jay Weiss, so he thinks there maybe should have been back points or even more. And whenever we get to a stoppage, they'll go check this out.
Saw the challenge brick come really fast, so you'd have to think that Jay Weiss saw something pretty quick in there.
Yeah, I'm not sure he got to use the brick yesterday, so he might have just wanted to throw it.
Nogle looked like he was initially trying to keep everything in bounds to keep that going, but Colaiocco almost scored the reversal there, so I think he almost got saved by the whistle on that one. But as we have a stoppage, here comes the challenge.
So at least for now, they only gave Nogle the 3 points. And Jay Weiss likely looking for back points or maybe even a pin here. But that was a great start for the first year out of Maryland against Colaiocco, who, as you said, is an awesome wrestler. You mentioned the 125 he wrestled at in the 1920 season. He was an All-American. He's a 2-time All-Ivy Leaguer. He was the EIWA runner-up last year at 133, but felt like Nogle just came out aggressive and wanted to see what he could do. And as they look at this, talking back about maybe why Harvard lost yesterday to Princeton, you watched the meet, and it looks like it just came down to the last weight class. But why was the score what it was at that point? It's because the places that Harvard had advantages, they got either regular decision wins or one major decision wins. In the areas where Princeton had advantages, they got a tech fall and a pin. So the bonus points are what changed things. And when you see what's happened so far, right? Clear advantage at 25 for Penn, they don't just win, they get a pin. So if you're thinking about rankings on paper where each team has an advantage today, you either need to get bonus points from your best wrestlers or maybe steal a weight class like maybe this one, where you have an unranked first year in Nogle against a top 10 wrestler in Colaiocco.
The interesting point about Nogle being the first year, Jay Weiss telling us that he was a little bit worried with him going every single weekend. He's kind of been an Iron Man for the Crimson so far this year with a couple of the other weight classes. When the lineups come out, you just expect him to be in there. And how would he respond to that? You're always thinking about your athletes as the challenge seems to have been locked up.
Yeah, it looks like it's just going to stay as 3 points. And based on Jay Weiss's body language, looks like the challenge failed.
not awarding any extra back points on that one, as they'll get back to the neutral position. But again, with Nogle, the really interesting point was basically that when you're a coach, you're always worrying about what's going through your athletes' minds and how you can help them. And it's kind of reversed with him. He's the one that's always telling Jay Weiss what's on his mind and what's going through there, and the confidence that comes along with that. Not something you see all the time from a first year, and with that, he'll do everything. He's a student of the game, and that's really what makes him stand out in such an early part of his career. The interesting part of that first takedown for Nogle, you see the ride time at about 45 seconds. So if he can score another takedown, he'll be really close to getting over that 1 minute mark, which again could come down and be really important here.
Well, also he's going to start on top here in the second period. So if he can just hold on top of Colaiocco for 15 seconds, that, you know, would get him over the 1 minute, which would be nice to have at this point in the match. Obviously far from being over, but if you can get this up over a minute, that's big. But look at the reversal by Colaiocco. He's out of it at 56 seconds.
Saw him from the restart get that right leg out and really just able to elevate really fast. Seems like Nogle has been dictating the tempo a little bit. Colaiocco has been kind of happy to sit back and let him take that.
And when you always get to see seniors against first years, you wonder about experience, and is Colaiocco just kind of waiting in the weeds here and maybe trying to use Nogle's aggressiveness against him at some point.
Using the edge there, Colaiocco able to score the takedown. Just able to keep both feet in to avoid a restart, scores it to take the lead, and starting on that top position now, that extra point from the ride time will be no more. First time we've really had to see Nogle from the down position. We'll see how he reacts to it with one of the top wrestlers at this weight class in the country going to work.
Stall warning here against Nogle. You can hear the Penn bench asking for it.
Roger Rainier not very happy with the stall warning either. He was already out of his seat by the time that it got called. Colaiocco 5-1 in dual meets already this year, looking to improve that to 6-1 as we finish out the period.
And it's not just that he's winning. 3 of those 5 in the duels have been either major decisions or tech falls, so he's gotten bonus points quite often from Penn as well. And you see, you know, decision-making processes here. Nogle decided to start at neutral there. Couldn't get up after the takedown in the second period, so he doesn't want to allow that to happen. But this is sort of where the new rules come into place, Jess, where, you know, if you get 3 points for a takedown now instead of 2, it used to be, I mean, math's easy, right? It used to be that you were just tied here, but if Nogle can somehow find one in the next 90 seconds, then he wins. So that's what really changes matches, and you don't kind of realize it until you really start watching them, because you just find so many situations where a wrestler is either up 2, down 2, and the 3-point takedown instead of a 2 really makes a difference.
Nogle on one of those last shots from Colaiocco looked like he took a palm to the head. It kind of shook him a little bit. You saw him before the reset, had to take a moment to reset as he was fixing the headgear before he got back out. Refs had to check in, make sure he was okay, gave the thumbs up as we continue to go. He looked like he dominated kind of the tempo in that first period, but second was all Colaiocco, and he's continuing that here. He'll score the takedown to the approval of the Penn bench in the background. Keeping that left foot just on the edge. As there it goes, they'll have to restart it.
Nogle was trying to keep his shoulders up as long as he possibly could, but Colaiocco finally wore him down, and you've sensed that as the match has gone along here, where Nogle had a lot of energy early, scored a quick takedown, was looking good, and as we've gone on, it seems like the stamina for Colaiocco has carried the day, as he's going to, you know, win this one at 33, looks like just by regular decision, but make it a 9-0 lead for Penn very quickly here this afternoon.
The interesting dynamic as a whole for the Harvard team, though, is it's a lot of very experienced veterans, and then on the opposite side of that, some first years as well. So it's a big mix. There really isn't much of a middle ground there, and especially on the weights where they don't have a ton of depth, like 125, with Statello not able to go today. That's where it really starts coming into play. The middle weights is really where Harvard kind of starts hitting their stride with some of their veterans, seniors, captains. But so far early, with the weight classes starting today at 125 as opposed to yesterday, where it was in that middle that they got the start, got 2 wins to get them out to an early 7-0 lead. Now it's Penn kind of taking that momentum instead to start.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And that's why for Harvard, you know, you're going to